So today we are working on our Range Rover L322. We're replacing the front brake pads and disc. When I'm trying to brake, I get slight vibration in the wheel, and it goes like starts and it stops, starts and it stops, starts and it stops. And even if I'm doing the cruise control, like adaptive cruise control, and the car wants to slow down, I get that vibration. So I think that is, well, I've been told that's the brake discs are warped. So this is why I'm changing the disc brakes or brake disc, and let's see if that goes away or not. It is super windy today, but we're not going to complain about the weather, even though we are in the middle of a storm, but we just got jobs to crack on and we've got MOT to meet. Since we are doing the brake pads and brake discs on the front, obviously we're going to mess around with the brake fluid, and because if we have MOT next week, so we might as well adjust the parking brakes in the back, even though we just did it, and bleed the rear brakes, even though we just flushed it, I don't know, like a few months ago. But anyway, this video is not going to be a lot of details because I've done a lot of videos on how to do it in a very much boring detailed. If you want to know how I jack up the car, or if you want to know why the car is on that slope, you probably want to go and watch the other videos really. So these are the products that we're using today. These are the brake pads from Land Rover, brake discs from Land Rover, we have a brake fluid, and we have a pump here, which I will show you how we're going to use later on in the video. So I've already done a video on how to adjust the parking brake and how to bleed the brake fluid from the brake calipers. So we're not going to go through that in much details today. It's going to be really quick for us to do it.
Alright, so let's get started. So firstly, I'm going to readjust the parking brake in the back. This is a new pump. I've never tried it before, but basically it comes with a 2-liter pump and also a bleeding bottle, which is about a liter and a half, I believe. I'm going to use .4 ESP today, so we're gonna pour the fluid inside, and then we're going to connect it to the reservoir, and we're going to pump an air pressure between 10 to 15 psi. Then we're going to bleed the calipers. As usual, we're going to start from the furthest caliper to the closest caliper, and that is it. As simple as that. Now we're going to turn the car around and we're going to work on the front brakes.
Working in these winter months is just a joke, really. I go out in the morning, barely get a few hours done. It's dark again. It's always raining. It's always windy. There are always leaves around. I have to clean the area before I start, so so it's good for filming. I have to prepare the car, so it's good for filming. Really, I'm struggling. So I barely got the back wheels done, so that's completed. The front wheels, I can't visit it tomorrow. I can't do it the day after. I have to wait now a few days when the rain stops. But anyway, when you guys see it, you'll see it in like a few minutes. The video is just a few minutes because it's all edited. It's interesting how you guys see the video only for a few minutes, but really it takes me days to get the job done. This is supposed to be just the intro of the video. I haven't even started doing the front brakes and discs. Anyway, just gonna call off for today. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, so now that we are on the front wheels, I'm going to start by disassembling the front brake sensors. I'm using wrench number 17mm and a socket number 13mm, as you can see here, to remove the 2 back bolts. They're not too bad to remove. And now I'm just putting just like a line or a rope to hold the caliper in place, because you don't want the caliper hanging, because it'll put unnecessary pressure on the brake lines. So I'm just hooking up really here, and now we can see the brake pads. I'm just going to see everything is working order here. I'm just going to do a bit of cleanup. It's not really that difficult. As you can see, it's an easy job. Anyone can do it really. And this is the new tool set that I was talking to you about before. It's a 12-point tool set. I'm going to use number 21mm. So 21mm socket, 12-point. I got it from Amazon. I'll put the link for you in a description, so if you ever wanted to get this one. But this is what you need to remove the full caliper bracket, and it's been torqued to 275 Newton meter, so you gotta put a lot of pressure. As you can see, I'm just making sure the bolts are okay, because I'm not gonna replace these bolts. Usually you should replace these bolts, but for me, I'm not gonna replace them. I'm just checking over them to make sure they're all good and clean, and to be honest, they look absolutely fine. I can just put them back. But of course, I do need new Loctite to put it back in. And now it's time to remove the brake discs. I'm using a socket. I forgot what is it called. It is hexagonal shape number 6, and I'm just unbolting it. This is a bolt to centralize the brake disc. I'm just testing it here on the floor to see if it's wobbled or warped or what's going on with it. Just inspecting what is the situation. As you can see here, it is actually moving. I don't know if the asphalt on my driveway is bent or whatnot, but this is a situation. Anyway, these are the new brake discs, and I absolutely love them. They come already painted or primed if you want to paint them. Just cool. Just making sure it's all good. So we're cleaning everything so the brake discs sit in place, removing all the rust. This is an important step, or I do believe it's an important step. It may not be. And I'm just spraying everything with brake cleaner just to make sure it's all tidy and clean. And then, of course, copper grease. Copper grease and brake cleaner is the most important two things that you need in this job. Do remember to put brake cleaner on the brake discs because they come already greased and it needs to remove all the grease. And of course, we put it back. I put a Loctite on the screw and I screw it back. And we do need to torque that one. So we are going to tighten the brake disc retaining bolt into 16 Newton meter. And over here, as usual, you need to remove all the dust. So you make sure you clean it, all the parts very well. And you can see me putting, sometimes I refer to it as thread lock or Loctite. I'm not too sure which one is the right term, but you can see me putting them on the bolts that holds the anchor of the caliper. I think it's referred to as brake caliper anchor plate to hub bolts. And you can see me here putting the brake caliper anchor plate to hub bolts. We need to torque these at 275 Newton meter. It's difficult, but you can get it done. But it's very, very difficult. And these are the new brake pads. They look fresh. They come with all the new hardware and new bolts, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm almost about to do a mistake, so please be careful of what I'm doing here. You can see that some brakes are for the rear and some brakes are for the front, and they have a rotation arrow on them. Can you see the rotation arrow? This is important. Some of them are inner, some of them outer brakes. Please be careful and pay attention to this. So you can see me rubbing the brakes here. This is a good habit, by the way, just to remove any grease or any contamination on top. You can see here the difference between an old brake pad and a new brake pad, and on the other side it was a lot worse. So what you see here, that this brake pad is the best brake pad it came out. Actually, it's the thickest brake pad. Everything else is a lot worse. Everywhere that moves, I like to put copper grease there, and I put the new hardware and I add more copper grease. I'm just a copper grease guy. I like to put copper grease everywhere. So some people may argue, well, when you get the car from manufacturer, it doesn't have a copper grease. Yeah, it's true. But I think it's a good habit to put. And in the back, and I know you don't need to do that anymore, especially with high-end brakes like this, you don't need to put, but I just put anyway.
So I almost made a mistake here. So the arrow, this arrow indicates the rotation of the wheel. So you need to be on rotation of the wheel. So since the wheel moves this way, so it needs to go this way. So it's the same thing on the other side. I put the arrow facing up this way, so both of them are facing up, because since the wheel rotate this way, it's important to do it this way. You may get a vibration or not, and maybe that's what happened before, I'm not too sure. But anyway, so the arrow needs to go up because of the rotation. And you can see here's the arrow, and one it says outer on it and one says inner, and you have this here to balance it. So yeah, just remember this.
So again, I'm putting copper grease on the top and the bottom, and I'm gonna add copper grease on the side. This is to stop it from rattling when the brake caliper is on top of it, and it will stop it from sticking. So now I'm going to use a tool set. That tool set compresses the calipers and basically it brings the piston back in. Now inside the piston I put copper grease as well, and I put copper grease on the sides, and basically anywhere that moves I put copper grease.
So I'll put grease inside here and here and here. I greased it all the way. I'm gonna put it here now, like that. And I'm going to use the screws that came with the calipers to tighten it. No need for Loctite with these ones because they already come with, so I just have to put them in and torque them.
The correct terminology for them is brake caliper housing to anchor plate bolts, and they get tightened into 35 Newton meter. And I'm just tightening them to 35 Newton meter at the moment.
That's 35. Let's see the other one.
And really that's more or less everything. What we need to do now is just to remember to put the brake sensor back, make sure we get it right, and then I'm going to move on into the next side of the car. I'm not going to film the next side of the car because obviously it's just a repetition of what I did here, and it's getting really dark, so I'm just gonna carry on. And of course I didn't manage to film this, but I did bleed the front brakes. It's very important for you to know that I did bleed the front brakes, and I started from the furthest caliper to the closest caliper. And again, I didn't show it because I have done multiple videos about this. So if you do want to see how I bleed the brakes, please see my other videos.
So, as usual, it got dark on us. It is 10 p.m. We are in Tesco car park because that's the only place where we can film without rain and with lightning. So thank you, Tesco, for, well, they don't know I'm here filming, but anyway. So the brakes are completed. The discs are completed. When I say brakes, I meant brake pads. Brake pads and disc are completed. It's all good. We went on a test drive and these are the results. And now we're going to answer the main question. Did we stop the steering wheel vibration? Because obviously, if you've been following, we have replaced the front brake pads and discs because of the wheel vibration. Okay, so I'm driving out 70 right now, and there's zero wheel vibration, but that was never a problem. Is when I'm braking. Okay, so I am going to obviously not going to slam on the brakes, but I'm going to slow down all the way to, let's say, 50. So I'm going to slow down, slow down us to 50. No wheel vibration whatsoever. That's even 39. I will reach 40 actually, and no wheel vibration. Did the camera pick it up? No wheel vibration whatsoever. Let's see again. I'm going to speed up, and now brake. Nothing. Zero. Can you see? Can you see the steering wheel?
Yep.
Nothing. Obviously, the results are that there is no steering wheel vibration, so that's good. That means it's worked. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts about my job. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Let me show you. That's the difference. Wow, I'm glad I'm doing the job. Wow.